Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all looking so bright and chipper today. Let's see, today is March something, 4th or 5th, maybe it's the 5th. It's Sunday morning, and we have about a foot of ice outside. Maybe not. No, there's snow. The further we get away from our house, the less snow there is. In fact, you can see, and then there's no snow some places, but we have pretty deep snow still. I went for a walk around the deck this morning. It's very, very cold. It was -20 last night, which is 0 Fahrenheit. Very cold. But I went for a walk around the house, and there was sun on half of the house. No, not all the way. Maybe a eighth of the house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, an eighth of the house was really sunny and warm. That was in the sun trap beside the new room, beside the kitchen, where well, anyway, it faces south, and it's an inside corner, so you can sit in there and abricate. Soak up the rays. Today, when I took a shower, talking about soaking up the rays, I have a chair in my tub, and so I was able to. Oh, isn't he beautiful? Wonder who he is. Eyring. Looks like Eyring. Anyway, I can put my chair right up against the end of the tub, and where the water can come pretty much straight down on me while I'm sitting. I didn't want to have to arch forward because that hurts my back. But anyway, I was able to come, so it was almost vertical. I could just bend my head a little bit, and then the rain or the hot water would just wash over me. Anyway, it seems to have relaxed some of the muscles in my back and in my shoulders. In the summertime, I like to go in the river into the rapids and prop myself in the rapids so that the beating water that's coming over will pound on my shoulders and on wherever I turn, whichever way, and so can pound on anything. Of course, if you're not just sitting right, holding on, you may get swept away. This has happened. I am speaking from exciting experience. Those are the things that I remember. Getting swept away and being washed way down around the curve and trying to get back, swim back against the current. You end up going against the shore because the current's in the middle, and so it's making eddies that bring you backwards and go upstream if you're at the shore. Anyway, it was an experience, right? It was interesting. It was exciting, and it was a little scary. You probably remember all the scary things in your life that happened. There's something about the amygdala in your brain and fight or flight and memory, and so if you have rehearsed that memory again, then it's more likely to stay. It also changes it a little bit. Every time you access a memory, when you put it away, it's not the same memory as it was when it came out, because you're thinking about the situation. Say you're remembering a picnic. Okay, so something traumatic happened at the picnic, or very exciting. Maybe whatever would excite a child, right? Something that stands out that happened at that park. And so when you tell somebody about it, when you go home and say, Mommy, guess what? I flew a kite today. Okay, so that was what it was. I flew a kite today. And so he's remembering flying the kite from a different perspective than when he's actually flying it and he's holding on and he's trying to figure out what he's doing and what's going on with the wind and what you need to know. But after that, he may have thought a little bit about something he did wrong with the kite, something that would have made it better. And now when he puts that memory away, and he looks at the memory while he's got it out, and he's thinking if he had done it this way, such and such. And so, or maybe he's remembering running past his sister who had an ice cream cone, which he wanted at the time, but didn't go into because he was too busy focusing on kite flying. Okay, so now his memory, he remembers more of it. He remembers that he passed his sister with the ice cream cone. He remembers the emotion that went with this. So now, when he pulls out that memory next time, it's not going to be the same memory of just the kite. It's going to be kite and sister with the ice cream cone. And then he remember more things, like as he learns about a kite, as he grows and he learns how updraft and downdrafts and the length of the tail and the direction of the wind, all these things, and he'll learn that those things go into it. And he will access, when his teacher says, so when you fly a kite, kite, that will then access that memory of flying that kite on that day at that picnic years ago. Maybe it was the only time he flew a kite. So now he's looking at that memory and seeing the trouble he had, and now knowing about uplift and downdraft and angle of the wind, he can remember something more about what he should have done. Okay, so next time he accesses this memory, now he's got a critique in the memory of how it should have been done, and also of his sister with the ice cream cone. See? Or if they talk about in a group setting, and he's remembering back to this group picnic. So now he's seeing it from another angle, group setting, sociology, and all the inner dynamics of the people. Okay, so now when he thinks about that memory, he's also got a little more about there were other children playing with kites too. He remembers that. And people cheering and coaching him or whatever. He remembers more about the interactions of the people. So the next time he accesses the memory, is it his tiny childhood memory of the joy of holding the string and getting a kite up in the air against all the forces against it? That was the original item. But now it's got the social dynamics that were going on, his sister with her ice cream cone, which is part of the social dynamics, and the cheering of the people, and it's become a much more rich, full story, right? And then also, it has lost some things, because whenever you give something a word, it loses part of what it is. So kite flying no longer is his experience. Anyway, so everything we remember, we change it as we learn and grow. You know, even as an adult, you go to therapy or a psychologist or something, and they talk about your parents, and you're still wrapped up in dealing with how things went with your parents and the patterns that made your mind, the patterns that your mind developed to deal with whatever situations, which are all experiences and which everybody has, and the things that happen in our childhood and in our relationships with our parents has an impact on us. I can see how happy my daughter's children are, and she is so happy. She is genuinely happy all the time. There are moments that she's not, but you know, like her genuine happiness when she talks to people, or you know, it's right there. And so her children are also very happy. You see, that's what they're getting from their relationship with their parents. How in the world did I get onto this subject? Memories. Whenever I walk around the deck, I go through memories. Instead of just walking around the deck, on the deck around the house, circling the house. Instead of doing that, I'm remembering the last time I was looking right here, I saw a squirrel, and so I find myself looking for a squirrel. Or this spot is where they cut a branch down, and I had a lot of emotional attachment to that branch, which is now on the ground. And so I see that and I remember that. And so as I walk around the deck, I come to the place where we used to have a porch swing, and the porch swing's not there. And so I remember the porch swing, but now I'm seeing what I couldn't see because the porch swing was in the way. And so I'm seeing sides of the hills, and I'm remembering when I used to walk along the edge, like on one plane on the side of the hill. And I'm remembering when I used to come down, and my hammock is down there, and it's over like a cliff. Most of them are because it's such a steep hill. Anyway, the point is that when I've seen it before, when I've done something there before, and I've experienced that location before, walking around sightseeing, which is kind of what it is when I'm pushing my walker. Oh shoot! Oh my gosh! I've driven the wrong direction. Oh my word! How could I do such a thing? Where am I now? I think I need to be on the road behind me to go the other direction. Oh my gosh. And I didn't have a lot of time. I wonder how far I've come the wrong direction. Well, about 15 minutes. I get kind of sidetracked, don't I? All right, goodbye.